Hello and welcome back. In today's video I will be using Blender to model and texture this sword. If you don't have Blender, you can use any 3D software. All you need is a basic knowledge of any 3D software. I model this sword using Autodesk Maya, but for some reasons I end up using Blender. So if you want to follow along, you can download the reference images with the link on the description. We will start up with the reference image. Drag and drop your reference image. Press G to grab and Z to move to Z-axis, then press 2. Add a mesh plane by pressing Shift A. Press R, X, 90 to rotate in X-axis. Go to the side view by pressing 1 on your numpad. Press S and scale down the mesh plane. Press Tab to go to edit mode. Press 1 to select the vertices. Now move the vertices on the sword edges. Now add in some edge loops by pressing Ctrl R, then use the middle mouse button to add some loops. Start moving the vertices to match up with the one on the image. Now press K to activate the knife tool. Start marking the edges with the knife tool. Move the vertices to match up with the reference. Press Tab to go back in object mode. Add a solidify modifier. Set the thickness to 0.09. Then apply the modifier. Now select this edges and bevel it by pressing Ctrl B. Now move your mouse and roll the middle button to add some edge loops. Now select this edges. Use the scale button to scale it inwards. Select 2 vertices and press M to merge the vertices. Repeat this till you get the chap edge of the blade. Now start adding some edge loops on the object. Press Ctrl R to inset the edge loops. After adding the edge loops, right-click and choose Shade Smooth. If you want, you can shade smooth 2 times. Press Ctrl R to inset some edge loops. Add more edge loops with the knife tool. If you have this problem, just select this vertices and move them forward. After adding the edge loops, press Tab to go back in object mode. Select the sword and move it in Y-axis by pressing G to grab and Y to move in Y-axis. Press Shift A and add another mesh plane. Press R, X, 90 to rotate in X-axis. Press S and scale down the mesh plane. Now add in some edge loops by pressing Ctrl R, then use the middle mouse button to add some loops. Move the vertices to match up with the reference. After matching up the vertices, press Tab to go back in object mode. Add a Solidify modifier. Set the thickness to 0.13. Then apply the modifier. Now add in some edge loops by pressing Ctrl R. Press Tab to go back in object mode. After adding the edge loops, right-click and choose Shade Smooth. Now add a bevel modifier. Set the amount to 0.13 and the segments to 6. Press Tab to go to Edit mode. Press Ctrl R to inset an edge loop. Select the small model, hold Shift and select the second model. Press Ctrl- on your numpad keyboard to activate the Bool tool in Blender. If you don't have the Bool tool add-on on, just go to the Edit tab, Preferences, go to Add-ons, and search for Bool tool. After installing the Bool tool add-on, add a bevel modifier if you have this problem. Set the amount to 0.29 and the segments to 10. Apply the Bool tool modifier first, then apply bevel modifier next. For the next model, I will be speeding up the video. You can follow up by repeating the same process like we did on the last model. After you have complete the model, duplicate the subjects into 3 pieces by pressing Shift D and Y to move in Y-axis. Move this 2 object in a bit and use the Bool tool by pressing Ctrl- on your numpad. Select one of the small objects, press and hold Shift to select the main model and press Ctrl-. Now add in a bevel modifier, set the amount 0.2 and the segments to 6. After adding the bevels, you can apply the modifiers. First, apply the bool modifier and the bevel modifier. Repeat this process on the other side. Now we can add a hole in the middle. Select the last model and reduce the scale, and move it inwards. Select the last model, press and hold Shift, then select the main model and press Ctrl- to add a bool modifier. After that, add a bevel modifier. Set the amount to 0.21 and the segments to 4, then apply the modifiers. Now that we are done with the modeling, it's time to add the materials. Select the material properties and create a new material, and name the material whatever name you like. Open up the Shading tab. You will see the Principled BSDF. Set the metallic to 1 or 1.5 and reduce the roughness to 0.3. Press Shift to add some texture materials. Choose Color. Inside the color, select Mix Color. Now change the colors to black. Press Shift-A, go down to Vector and add a bump map, and connect the bump map to the normal. Select this object and press H to hide it, and press Tab to go in Edit mode. Press 3 to go in Face mode. Select this faces manually. After selecting the faces, press Ctrl+ on your numpad to increase the face selection. After selecting the faces, create a new material. Set the metallic to 1 or 1.5 and reduce the roughness to 0.3. Press Shift to add some texture materials. Choose Color. Inside the color, select Mix Color. Press Shift-A, go down to Vector and add a bump map, and connect the bump map to the normal. Reduce the strength to 0.010. Press Shift-A and search for Color Ramp and connect the color ramp. Now add a wave texture and increase the scale to 10 and change the bands to rings and change the X to Y. Now come over to the color ramp and change the black to white. Press Shift-A and search for mapping. Press Shift-A and search for texture coordinate. For the second model, press Alt-H to unhide it. You can add those materials on it. Select the model and create a new material. Go down here and change it with the black one you created. Press Tab to go in Edit mode. Now select the faces. After you are done selecting the faces, create a new material, assign the material, and change it with the other metal material. That is it for today's model. If you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.